All right. MVP. Who is your number 3, Danny?
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
I concur.
Nice. Common wet.
Dibo, who's your number 3?
My number 3.
Mm-hmm. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Jokic.
This boy racist. This man racist. This man is racist.
I love it.
How is that racism?
I love
I
it,
like
Dibo. I
Jokic.
love it. I love it,
Except when
Dibo.
Owen talks about him.
Except when Owen talks about him. I love it, Dibo.
That man Owen takes it a little too far. That's what you call dick eating.
For real. Hey,
But-
if we see the lunchroom debates are actual group chat debates, they would never allow that man Owen to talk on the show.
What's the most ridiculous take he's had in there? Ooh, that's a tough question.
There's a lot of them. I'll tell you which one is his most useless one. The most useless one is Dame is better than D Mitch, or D Mitch is better than Dame all time. It's like, bro, who fucking cares?
That's
They're both not top 75 or top 100. Who fucking cares?
Dame is top 75, I think, right?
Fuck no.
I thought he
What
was there.
accolade he got? Name an accolade Dame got other than
No,
All-Star.
but he made the NBA 75 is what I'm saying.
He shouldn't have. Kyrie
Oh.
should have got it over him.
Maybe.
Come on, dog.
Why are you saying maybe?
They're saying maybe, bro. He clears. All right,
Kyrie hasn't done it without Bron yet. Kyrie hasn't done it without
I'll say it
Bron
like
yet.
this, Matt. I'll say it like this, Matt. To be a top 75 player, I think that you have to be in the story. And when the NBA tells a story about the NBA, you can't be left out of the story. You cannot tell the story of the NBA, the whole history of it, without putting Kyrie Irving in that thing. You can leave Dame out. Fuck
You
Dame.
could, but I don't know.
You cannot tell the story of the NBA without Kyrie Irving's game-winning shot.
Okay, what about Charles Barkley then? What about Steve Nash?
He got 2 MVPs.
Bro, they both got MVPs.
That's fair.
They both
What
got
about
MVPs.
Russ? What about Russ then?
He got an MVP.
MVP, triple double. First triple double since Oscar Robinson.
Jokic is about to average a trip. By the way, I am interested to see this. Jokic is averaging 24.9, 11 rebounds, and 9.9 assists. I wonder if he's going to stat pad to get it.
He's going to get it. He's going to get it.
What is your argument with that?
No, I'm just asking. Do you think he's going to stat pad for that?
Stat pad.
Every star's going to stat pad now. It's the end of the season.
He's got to get 0.1 more points.
Did y'all see Jokic stat padding against Toronto that one game? Did y'all see him stat padding against Toronto that one game, Jokic?
Which game?
Yeah. The Toronto game.
You said it.
The one that they just played when they lost.
Oh.
Instead of taking like a
layup. Oh, that was on the East Coast trip. That was on the East Coast trip. I know which one you're talking about. That was the game
after taking a layup. Instead of taking a layup, this man like passed it for no reason to Aaron Gordon trying to get that assist. I'm familiar with your game. I'm familiar with your game, Nikola Jokic. You can't fool me. Then the Jokic brothers on me. I got that.
Dibo, why do you have your Jokic at 3 though? I don't think you explain.
Because he's fat, a fraud, and is a cone on defense. Just what the average NBA Twitter user would say.
Nope. Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it right here. Debo's fat phobic. We got our clip right now. We got our clip, Matt. We got our clip.
Fat shaming. We're about to blow up because we're gonna get canceled.
And he said because he's white. And he said because he's white, he's a racist too. We knew it. We knew it. I always knew it.
Debo will never beat the allegations.
But
what's the real reason? What's the real reason? You said that's what Twitter will say. What's the real reason?
What's the real reason? I have Giannis ahead of Jokic because Giannis has had more overall impact, especially without his second best player in Chris Middleton this season. And for Embiid, I feel like this last stretch of games, especially with the win-loss record for each team, I feel like that's kind of skewed the race in my opinion as well. And plus, I feel like Embiid has been on a whole different level, basically too. He can say what he wants to say about he doesn't care about the MVP award, this and that, but
did he duck?
Why are you laughing, Danny?
Do you think he ducked? Debo, do you think he ducked?
Oh, every superstar, like pretty much the majority of superstars in this league care about winning MVP.
Did he duck?
Do you think he ducked Jokic?
Answer the question.
Do I think what?
Do you think Embiid ducked Jokic?
No.
Danny,
You're
do
just
you?
protecting him. You're just protecting him because y'all both from Cameroon. That boy absolutely ducked. He ducked.
I love it, Danny. I love it.
Jokic is in my MVP though. Jokic is second on my list. Embiid is my MVP.
Embiid is my 2. Jokic is my 1.
Nah, but let's go back to that question you said, man. Why do you think Embiid ducked?
Honestly, I think it is what you're saying. I think he cares more about the MVP. I think he wants to win the MVP, and then he was willing to sit out to get whatever he needed to win.
I'll say
All
that.
right, all right, but let's just like try to look at this situation. So we all know that Embiid's a very competitive guy. He's a very vocal guy. And so you're saying that Embiid missed that game in Denver because he cares about the MVP award. But wouldn't it make sense for Embiid, the competitor he is, the guy he is, the player he is, to ball out against the guy he's going up against for that award?
And absolutely, and that's what you want as a fan. But what I think happened was Embiid got his game. He played phenomenal in Philadelphia against Jokic, had that tremendous second half, and then he wanted that to be the narrative against Jokic because you say that Embiid is a very competitive guy. Jokic could have easily, I don't want to say easily, but Jokic could have definitely come out in Denver and then whoop some ass. That could have been a very possible thing. He could have got his get back, and that could swing the MVP ladder in a very recency bias race. So I think that he was going for the MVP, and he didn't want anything to affect it.
I'll say it's a mix of both of those things. If you look at it for Embiid, like, well, not that a mix of both of those things, but I'll say that he ducked and he didn't duck. Like, if you look at the game right after, which was the Dallas game, Embiid was clearly not 100%. And like with taller, bigger guys, like if your calf is fucked up, like you can't hide that. Like you're gonna be in pain. And he was clearly in pain in that Dallas game. So that's why maybe he could have been faking. Like could have just been like, my leg, right? Not really hurt, but also yeah, he did duck. I think that it was a little unfair to Jokic because Jokic went into Philadelphia, and yeah, he got dicked on.
He did.
He got pounded by the African dick of Joel Embiid.
Man.
Danny, did I send you that video?
Hey, yo.
Yeah, I think you did. Yeah, he got put on black. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, yo.
What, bro? It's what happened.
He on the Draymond Green and Jamal Murray wave.
But he didn't give Jokic a chance to rebuttal in Jokic's home court. So I think that it was a little unfair to Jokic. Did he duck? Didn't he duck? I don't know. I still think Embiid would have cooked because Jokic is a shitty defender. But who knows? I still think that Embiid's MVP, regardless. Because he missed one game against some dude. We're gonna say, "Oh my God, he's not gonna get the MVP now." No, that's ridiculous. It's Joel Embiid.
Normally, it's crazy to say, but it's just this MVP race is so tight. It really is coming down to recency bias. Like it feels like it's changing like every week.
It is, but for me, it was that stretch of games when the Nuggets were dropping very winnable games against the Spurs, the Raptors, and all those teams.
The Knicks.
And not only did Embiid win games, he was doing some crazy shit. I mean, 38 points like a night for like 2 weeks straight or something like that. He was just ridiculous.
I had him number 1 during that stretch, and then I switched back to Jokic.
And so for me, that's the most important stretch of the MVP season. Like all that other stuff matters for us to gain our candidates, like our 3 or 4, but that's the most important stretch. Right after All-Star break up until about the end of March, that's the most important stretch. And for me, in my opinion, Embiid was the best player in the NBA during that stretch and the most deserving to get MVP.
I get that, but I also get Jokic was able to take this bad turn and still finish number 1. The number 1 seed. I think, what is it, the second best or third best record in the league?
Nah, and probably the shittiest
because the West sucks.
Western Conference.
The West is bad. The West is bad, but it's like
I agree.
The West is bad, and it's one of the few years, like very rare year, maybe first in like 15, where the East is better than the West. But I still think that for him to be as impactful as he was, I mean, we saw in that Pelicans game when they're without him, you can feel it. You can feel it, and that's not to say that it's not to say that Philadelphia doesn't miss Joel when he's out because clearly they do. But I think Jokic is the system in Denver. And the Denver Nuggets look way worse without Jokic. I mean, we saw the Sixers almost beat the Nuggets without Joel. And then I do think that was kind of a trap game. But I got Jokic at one.
Well, then with that logic, Matt, then LeBron should have got MVP every year then. Because every team was ran through LeBron. So, I mean, you can't – you have to go off of – I don't know. Like, is the correct word to say –
and like –
yeah. You got to go year by year. You can't say, well, this guy, he's the system this year. Well, he's going to be the system next year, isn't he? He's going to be the system the year after that, isn't he? So then should we just keep giving him MVP after that? No. So you have to go off of year by year and what's going on. And that's
but it's a system and it's leading to success. It'd be different if the system wasn't leading to success.
But I'm saying then we can say But I'm saying, Matt, then we can say that the same guy should win MVP every single year because he's the system. He's their best player.
Giannis and Embiid are the systems for their teams.
But that's not why we're saying they should win MVP.
No, but I'm saying that's why Jokic should win MVP.
Come on, man.
All right.
I also don't think there's a wrong answer. I was saying that before we started the episode. Go ahead, Dibo.
There isn't a wrong answer.
Thank you. And with what Danny said, right, if player impact on a team mattered that much for match case, Russ should have won MVP in 2017?
No,
2018 when Harden won it, in 2019 won it when he won it because he had triple-double and he was the best player on the team and his impact was
Paul George that 1 year.
Paul George finished third in MVP that 1 year.
Yeah.
Paul George was him with the Thunder.
Yo, the Mavs lost again.
Wait. Okay, then. Here's a better example. Then LeBron should have won it in 2018 because of his impact with the Cavs. Harden won it that year.
Harden was kind of crazy that year. Harden was kind of crazy.
But LeBron was the Cavs, right? They lived and died by LeBron.
Well, the Rockets lived and died by James Harden, did they not?
No, because they had one of the best defensive teams in the league, right? A two-guy and Chris Paul, one of the best two guys in the league at that time.
Bro, that was the year that James Harden averaged like 40 points for a whole month. For 2 months almost. He broke so many scoring records. That season he had the headline where it completed him having over 40 points against every team in the NBA. It was like a good story. We know the NBA likes the stories.
Okay, but what was one of the biggest storylines of that season, right? Oh, the Cavs are so ass. LeBron has to carry this Cavs team again. LeBron has to carry the Cavs. Oh my God, they traded the whole Cavs team at the deadline. LeBron has to do so much at his old age, and he still won 50 games that year too.
I think how many did the Rockets win? 62. They were 62.
Yeah, they won 62 games or 65 games.
Number one in the West. Yeah. Number one in the West. Obviously, number one in the league. I don't know. I also think like that was a year where there wasn't a bad argument because as long as you had one of the top two guys, there was no bad argument. But I thought James was well deserved.
I thought Harden should have won it that year, and I'm a LeBron guy. Yeah, one of the biggest LeBron guys there ever will be. No one will ever be able to touch my glorious, fantastic, wonderful king. But Dibo, do it, Dibo. That's my guy right there.
Dibo, somebody's gonna clip that. Someone's gonna clip
Dibo,
that.
I'm gonna use it as a reel. That's why I told you to do it. I'm gonna use it. But James Harden deserved it that year.
He did.
This dude put up like a 60-point triple-double like twice or some shit like that. Like that's not normal.
That was ridiculous. That was a ridiculous season for him. He had a 60-point triple-double and then was in the gym that night. I remember seeing the videos.
Shout out James Harden. It was against the Magic. We will say that. It was against the Magic, but
I think it was 70.
60-point
I think it was 70 low key.
It was 60. It was like 61 or something.
Oh, like that. Okay. Fair play. Are we doing all NBA teams?
Looks like it.
Wait, hold on. We gotta conclude.
Okay.
So Matt, who's your MVP?
Three-time Nikola Jokic.
All right. Danny, who's your MVP?
Joel, Frank, Embiid.
Is that his actual middle name?
Yep, sure is. Didn't just make that up right now.
Dibo, and yours is?
Nah, it's actually Hans.
That's what I said.
You said Frank.
No, I didn't, bro. Fix your earpods, bro.
He literally said he made it up.
I did. I said I literally didn't make it up. I said it's Hans.
Which is sarcasm. I made it up.
This man's such a flip flopper. But my MVP is Giannis.
Giannis?
Right.
Yeah.
Giannis Antetokounmpo. Antetokounmpo.
How come him? Why not his brother?
Which one?
Alex? That skills challenge.
Well, they all suck.
That skills challenge.
All of them aren't good. All of them aren't good. Yeah, facts, Dibo. Facts.
Speechless. Didn't I tell you I cooked? I left him speechless.